The battle raged on as another wave of rain ninja poured into the fray, their numbers threatening to overwhelm the convoy. Zabuza barked orders, his voice cutting through the chaos like his blade through flesh. "Hold the line! Protect the Uzumaki at all costs." Haku and Kimimaro stood back to back, surrounded by 10 rain ninja. Haku's movements were fluid and precise, his senbon flying through the air like deadly needles, striking with pinpoint accuracy. Kimimaro, in contrast, was a whirlwind of lethal efficiency. His bone blade sliced through armor and flesh alike, his expression calm and focused as he parried and struck with unrelenting precision. "You're holding up well," Haku said, deflecting a kunai aimed at Kimimaro's side. Kimimaro's green eyes remained locked on their attackers. "Stay sharp. They're testing us." The rain ninja pressed harder, but the pair worked in perfect harmony, covering each other's blind spots and keeping their enemies at bay. Shinichi's battle. Farther ahead, Shinichi had advanced too far into enemy lines, his bloodlust driving him into the heart of the rain ninja ranks. Surrounded by nearly a dozen enemies, he grinned, unbothered by the disadvantage. One rain ninja tossed a kunai at him, but with a quick motion, Shinichi spat out the bone toothpick he had been chewing, deflecting the blade mid-air. "Nice try," he growled, twin bone blades extending from his forearms. "Let's see how long you can keep up." The rain ninja hesitated for a moment, startled by the display of sheer brutality, but Shinichi didn't give them time to recover. He charged forward, his movements feral, yet calculated. His bone blades cut through the first 2 attackers with ease, his grin widening as their blood spattered across the battlefield. One ninja attempted to flank him, but Shinichi spun with startling speed, slamming the hilt of his bone blade into the ninja's chest before slicing upward. "You're too slow," he taunted. Another ninja hurled a flurry of shuriken at him, but Shinichi dodged with a savage laugh. "Is that all you've got?" he roared, closing the distance and driving his blade into the attacker's shoulder. Despite the odds, Shinichi thrived in the chaos, his laughter ringing out as he continued his rampage. "Come on! I'm just getting started." His ferocity pushed the rain ninja back, giving his allies more breathing room. Zabuza versus Aoi Rokusho. At the center of the battlefield, Zabuza clashed with Aoi Rokusho, the thunder god crackling against the executioner's blade. Sparks flew as their weapons met, the sheer force of their blows shaking the ground beneath them. Aoi grinned arrogantly, his sword's lightning creating arcs of electricity that lit up the battlefield. "You're strong, Zabuza," Aoi sneered, his voice dripping with mockery. "But strength alone won't save you." Zabuza didn't reply, his focus razor-sharp as he countered Aoi's strikes with brutal precision. The executioner's blade was heavy, but in Zabuza's hands it moved like a deadly extension of his will. He deflected a sweeping slash from the thunder god, countering with a devastating downward strike that Aoi barely managed to block. "You talk too much," Zabuza growled, his crimson eyes narrowing. He pushed forward, forcing Aoi onto the defensive, each strike of his blade creating deep gouges in the ground. Despite Zabuza's relentless assault, Aoi managed to hold his own, his sword's lightning keeping the demon of the mist at bay. With a sudden surge of electricity, Aoi created a blinding flash, forcing Zabuza to step back. "Now!" Aoi shouted, signaling the final wave of rain ninja to enter the battle. The rain ninja swarmed the battlefield, forcing Zabuza to split his attention. Aoi used the distraction to break away, his eyes locking on Mikoto and Karin. He charged toward them, but Suzumabachi intercepted him, her bees swarming in a deadly cloud. "Not so fast," Suzumebachi shouted, her kunai slashing toward Aoi. He deflected the attack with the thunder god, but the bees pressed him back, their stings forcing him to retreat several steps. Suzumebachi smirked, her steel-gray eyes gleaming with determination. "You're not getting past me." Aoi snarled, slashing at the bees with his lightning sword, but Suzumebachi kept the pressure on, directing her swarm with practiced precision. "You'll have to do better than that," she taunted, sending another wave of bees at him. Frustrated, Aoi shifted his focus, lunging toward Karin. With a powerful strike of the thunder god, he dispersed the swarm and grabbed the girl, pulling her close. "Gotcha," he hissed, retreating into the forest with Karin in tow. 10 rain ninja followed, forming a protective barrier around their leader as they disappeared into the trees. "Mama!" Karin screamed, struggling against Aoi's grip. "Karin!" Mikoto cried out, her voice filled with desperation. Her cry caught Zabuza's attention as he finished off a rain ninja in front of him. He turned just in time to see Aoi vanish into the forest. The 2 remaining rain ninja near Zabuza raised their weapons, but before they could strike, bone blades erupted from their backs. Shinichi stood behind them, his grin savage as he pulled the blades free. "I leave you alone for 5 minutes, and you're getting pushed around by these lightweights?" Shinichi taunted, his tone mocking. "I think you're getting soft." Zabuza didn't reply, his focus shifting to the fleeing Aoi. "We need to get the girl," he said, his voice low and dangerous. Shinichi nodded, his grin fading into a focused expression. "Lead the way." The 2 of them charged into the forest, cutting down any rain ninja that dared to stand in their way. Zabuza's blade cleaved through armor and flesh, while Shinichi's bone blade struck with deadly precision. The forest became a blur of blood and chaos as they closed the distance between themselves and Aoi Rokusho. The chase was on, and nothing would stop them from reclaiming their prize.